Okay, so today we're just going to continue with some review. We're going to add Python into the mix. So we'll do some quick review of Python, and then we're going to talk about loops and if statements, both of which you've been using. So hopefully we can, I don't know how to end that sentence. We'll just do it. It'll be great. Okay, I need to make a new folder to do all this in, and that is what? MKDIR, and we'll just call it practice for now. I'm going to cd into practice, and then I'm going to use code. So now that I'm in the folder, I'm going to use code dot to open the folder that I'm in, and that's going to give me a new VS Code window. I'm going to get my terminal up here, and I want to make two files. We'll just call them practice.js and practice.py. So how do I make a new file? How do I make a new file? Touch. And I can actually do them both at once, I think. Practice.js, practice.py.
I would check practice.
What?
So the first one, practice.
Oh, practice. Gotta go all the way back. Cool, that's gonna make the two files for me. I'm gonna open both of them. Cool. I'm gonna close that just so we have more room. And then if you haven't seen already, if I click this button up here in the corner, I can split my editor and I can actually have two files open at once. You can actually do it with multiple, I think you can do up to 4. But so I have JavaScript over here. And we'll do Python over here. And so, do we go over comments? We're familiar with comments? Yeah, so comments are just, it's just a way to, the interpreter will ignore it. So anything I do as a comment will not get run as code. It's just there for humans to read, like other coders or whatever, if I want to put in comments. In JavaScript, it's 2 slashes and then anything I put after it. In Python, it's a hash. And if you don't want to memorize that, in VS Code, if you do command ? It will automatically toggle and create the comment for you. So you don't even have to memorize it, really. You just do command ? Cool. So in JavaScript yesterday, we talked about if I wanted to make a variable, I could do const name equals, oops, Josh. God, I can't spell. Or I could also do let age equal 99. Right? How am I going to make those same variables over here in Python? Name equals Josh, and age equals, oh, why did I make this? Let's look at this in names, just for the hell of it. 99. Cool. So why am I getting an error? Okay. So we have 2 different ways to declare a variable in JavaScript. In Python, we just have 1. Right? So we just type the name of the variable, and then we assign it with the equal sign. Pretty simple, right? Let's see. Okay. My notes here. I have the same types of data that I have in JavaScript. I also have in Python, right? So strings work kind of the same. I can do them with single or double quotes. If I want to do interpolation, so over here, if I want to do like const greeting equals, whoops, hello name, right? Remember this? And this is going to, if I printed this out, it would say hello Josh. Over here, there's a couple of different ways to do it in Python. The newer way in Python 3 and the way that I have memorized, so I don't remember the other ways. Is to do it like this. It would be greeting equals, is it F? Maybe I don't have it memorized. F, and then it would be hello, bracket, name, like that. Cool. So I put an F in front of my string, and then if anything I put in brackets will be interpolated for me. Cool?
Are they backticks?
No, these are just single quotes. So the backticks won't work in Python. That's a JavaScript thing. The idea is the same though, right? Most of today, what I want to show you is how similar these languages are, and that it's a lot of syntax that we're just going to have to memorize or constantly look up until it's drilled into our brains. Cool. I have integers are the same, floats are going to be the same. Or over here, or what data types am I missing here? I think that's all of them, or the ones I want to go over right now. Booleans, yes, thank you. Is alive equals true. And then over here, a little bit different, is alive equals true. A couple of things to note about line 6 in my JavaScript and line 5 in my Python. Let's first talk about naming variables, right? So the convention in JavaScript is to use what's called camel case, and that's what you see here on line 6. So I always start with a lowercase, and then any other word I have, I capitalize. So it's like camel humps, I guess. In Python, we use snake case, where I separate each word with an underscore. This will still totally run if I did is alive like this. These are just conventions. So you want to, I don't know why, but you just want to stick to these conventions. So let's go like that. And then true and false are the same. They're just capitalized. True or false. If I meet an untimely demise, is capitalized here. Cool. Otherwise, bools are the same. Let's see, we did strings, numbers, bools, comments. Cool. If I want to print my greeting in JavaScript, what do I do? Console.log greeting. If I want to do it in Python, what do I do? Print greeting. Cool. Same thing. They're gonna accomplish the same thing for me. So that up. So we're kind of even. Cool. So that's print. I think that's it. My assignments are going to be pretty similar. So in JavaScript we had 9 triple equals 9. That's going to return what? True. 10 is less than 100 is going to return what?
True.
True. I actually meant to do this so that it would be false, but yeah, okay. In Python, same thing except 9, we use 2 instead of 3 is equal to 9. That'll give me true. And then this one's going to be exactly the same. That'll give me false. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
So the 3 in JavaScript, it compared against the data type as well.
Yes. Yeah.
The 2, does that in Python?
Yes, compares the data. They're equivalent. There is no 3. This is the only there's only one way in Python that I am aware of to do comparison, and it's with the double equals. So JavaScript is unique in that you can do double equals, but that's going to be a shallow equal. 3 equal signs is going to be check against type, and one other thing that I can't remember.
So no matter what, the string you would have to convert. So in Python, if you have a string and an int and everything 9, it will not be equal.
I am 90% sure. You know how we can test that? This is actually a good time for me to show you the REPLs. So we use REPL, the website REPL. Do you remember that? We used it in the thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull that up. REPLs are common, and there's usually one for each language, and it stands for, here we go, read, evaluate, print, loop. Read, evaluate, print, loop. And it's basically, that's exactly what it does. Like, that's what our REPL would do. It would read our code, evaluate it, print it to the screen, and then it would loop back to start over again. Whenever I want to test something, just like Bobby had a great question, right? And I'm always like trying to test these things. Can I push into this array, etc. Instead of opening a new file or like doing a bunch of print statements, If I just type Python and I click enter, you can see it's going to tell me the version. So when you do this, you should make sure you get version 3. That's how we set up our computers. And now I'm in a Python REPL. So this will read, execute, or whatever, print and loop whatever I type. So we wanted to check if 9 string is equal to 9 integer. I can just type that and hit enter, and you can see that is false. That will not work, right? If I want to exit, then I have to call a function. Exit like a function like this, and that'll get me out of it, okay? Super helpful, great way to test out an idea, okay? You can save, let's do, we can save variables in here too. I can say a equals like 1, 2, 3. And then I can, now I have the value of a. And if I want to do like a, just test a at 1, right? And it'll retain that the whole time I'm in the REPL. And then if I do exit, I've lost everything. So you don't want to do anything that you can't lose. Narayan, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, that's all very helpful. You're not just using the literal, you have like a variable, you try to check the type. The type function in the REPL. It's, you have a function or a variable name. You're like, well, what's that again? Or what is that at this point?
That is a really, that is a really helpful. Is it like this? I think it's like that, and it'll tell me class string. So this is a string. Cool. So let's exit this. For JavaScript, for right now, because we're running it in the terminal, we'll talk about running it in the browser in a few weeks, where actually JavaScript was initially meant to run. But we have Node, so Node will allow us to run it in the terminal. So if I just type Node and I don't pass it anything, that'll throw me into a JavaScript REPL, and I can do the same thing in here. We can test. So now actually we can do, like, is the string 9 double equals to 9 true? But if I go back and I do triple equal, I'm going to get false. Cool? And then to get out of this, I have to press Control-C twice. And I can get out of that one. So those are the REPLs. Really helpful. I would get used to using them rather than like opening a whole new file or something like that to test stuff out. It's really helpful once you get used to practicing. Cool. Let's see. Okay. So we've talked about this stuff. We feel pretty good. Are there any questions about these data types? I'm going to delete all this, or I'm going to comment all this out. Arrays. It's nums equals, we just saw this, 1, 2, 3. In Python, they're called lists. Same thing, right? Same thing. Nums equals, can declare it the same way, and it'll work the same. I access it by index. In JavaScript, I have objects. These are my key value pairs. I'll go. And in Python, what are they called? They're called something different. Dictionaries, right? It's called a dictionary, same concept. Person equals, I mean, I could even copy it, which, no, I'm actually not going to do that. One thing is my keys need to be strings in Python. So I have to do name as a string, and then my value can be anything. I can do that as a string, and like for here, let's do like is alive. Whoops, that needs to be string. And so my values can be Booleans, they can be other arrays, other dictionaries, right? So we'll start to get into nested data. The values can be any data type. Okay. Cool, I think that's it. One thing that's a lot easier in Python, so we were doing, and we didn't have time yesterday, but if we do later in the week, we can maybe do def grandma, but we saw how frustrating it was to get user input with JavaScript. We had to download a package, and that is because JavaScript, again, was not originally written to run in the terminal. It was written to run in the browser. And this is a pretty new development in the life of JavaScript. You can run any of it in the terminal the way that we're doing. Python, on the other hand, has all these built-in functions. So if I want to print to the screen, I can do print. If I want to get user input, I can just do input. So what I can do is input And then I can pass it a message like, please enter your name. And let's just see what that looks like. So I'm going to do Python, what did I call this? Practice.py. And you'll see that'll prompt me for user input. And then I can type in my name. And now if I press enter, it exits because I didn't tell it to do anything else, right? But if I want to save that value, you're going to redo Def Grandma, so that's why I'm telling you this. It's going to be so much easier with this. Say I want to save that input, I could say name equals, right? And then we can come down here and we could do print f string hello name. You mean like that? I think you can even, if we wanted it to be on a new line, we could do /n, I think. Nope, that's not gonna work. I don't know off the top of my head. It's /n, but we might have to do the f string. I don't remember. Okay, so let's run this real quick. It's gonna ask me for my name, and then it's gonna spit back the name because it saved it to the name variable, and then on the next line I printed hello and then the name. Cool. So hopefully Def Grandma will be much easier for you with that. Okay. Get rid of this. Conditional statements in JavaScript. We had, let's get a variable, we'll call it let age equal 18. And let's say if age is greater than or equal to 21, we will console.log welcome to the bar. Cool. What's going to happen when I run this JavaScript file? Absolutely nothing, right? Why, Hank? Yeah, exactly. Because the if statement will only run if I pass it something that evaluates to true. And right now it's going to evaluate to false, right? How do I make it run? What can I change real quick? I could say less than or equal to. I could change age. I could also do else, just if I wanted to do something, and say console.log go away. I can run this with node practice.js, and we'll get go away. I'm going to do the same thing over here in Python. Age equals 18. So JavaScript uses brackets to separate blocks. We call them blocks of code. It's just like sections in my code. And we separate them in JavaScript with brackets. So we do it with if statements. When I write a loop, I separate them that way. When I write a function, I separate it with brackets. Python is unique in that it uses spacing, right? So I have to have the spacing appropriate and the indent. It uses indentation. Let me here. It'll work with 2, but the convention is to use 4 spaces. So now if I'm here, this exact same thing, I'm going to say if age is greater than or equal to 21, and then I need a colon, and then I'm down here and I've indented, otherwise this will throw an error. I'm going to say print welcome, else, colon, print, what? Go to 0. Cool. Questions?
Real quick, earlier when you typed in OCR and populated both files, you didn't type anything to get to JS, between the two when they populate, or?
That's a great question. How did I do that? Let's see. I did node P, and it gave me that. I think I typed J and then did that. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Yeah, so I had to give it a little bit more info, and then I could just tab. Go ahead. Question. Ask it now.
So, is there a way to change your convention to 4 spaces on tab for just Python files?
Yeah, you have to go into the settings and you can set it specific to Python. I don't remember exactly how to do it. I'll look it up and throw it in Slack.
Wait for you said for VS Code.
Yeah,
Just Python files.
for just
where we have
Python files.
4 spaces.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that set up right before we started. I deleted everything on my computer and started from scratch, so I lost some of my settings. So I'm gonna have to look up how to do that again. But yes, you can do that. Okay. So we have else. We also have else if. So can do here. I can say like else it, or what is it in JavaScript? It's else space if, right? Okay. And let me bring this back up. I could say else if let's say age is equal to 18. We'll say console.log have a smoke. And then over here, if I want to do the exact same thing, it's else if. Thank you. Print smoke. Yes, I need a condition. Thank you. Age is equal to 18. I run this one, we'll get smoke. If I run the node one, I'm gonna have a smoke. Cool. We good on if statements? Feeling good about them? Cool. Go ahead.
The difference between else, if, and else.
Yeah.
Elif will. Somebody explain it to me, please.
Someone want to give it a try?
So that's a branch altogether, right? One thing, if you just did if and elif, something could not work, or run. But when you do an else, you're guaranteed something to run. It's kind of like a default statement.
Yeah.
So when you hit that branch, you have multiple like test cases. It's great for elifs, but if you ultimately want something to always happen, you're gonna put it in the else.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're gonna run exactly. They're gonna run in order. So it's always gonna check this one first. If this is false, it'll check this one next. And we could have dozens of these, but just like Narayan said, you not always, but sometimes you're going to want some sort of feedback given, right? And if basically what we end up doing in our else is if I didn't meet any of my conditions, then that's what I spit back. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So let's get rid of that. Okay. So now let's talk about loops.
One more question.
Go for it.
Even if all of these if statements are true, will this else still run?
No.
So it
No.
only runs if none of these are true.
Exactly.
Okay.
We opposite the first condition. Yeah. So, like, if you change the else if on age equals 18 to be age greater than 18, that's true. When it's above 21, it'll never get there. Quit at 21. Leaves the first condition. So it just goes down, and as soon as it finds something it keeps, it never does the rest.
Think of all the ifs and else together as one point in time, and only one route you have to go. Like you hit that if, that's it. You're going to continue on with your logic. Or else if, on whatever condition, you finish your logic. You're only going to hit one of those, so all of those you can treat like as the same, as the same point in time as your code.
So this is what I'm thinking in my head. Like, can I write something on the board? Like,
Please do.
All right. So like, I have this if statement down here. This if